One of the great things about knitting is that there are different ways to achieve the same end result. In this video I'm going to show how to work the make one increase. The sample in front of you shows that I've worked a make one increase 2 stitches in from the edge on each side of this piece of knitting. It makes a nice neat increase that's fairly invisible, so works very well, for example, when you're increasing for a tapered sleeve when you're making a garment. So to work this increase, we're going to bring some knitting over here, and in the sample that I showed, the increase had been worked 2 stitches in from the edge. So I'm going to work the first 2 stitches as normal, and then the increase is made by lifting the strand between the 2 stitches at the beginning of each needle. So I'm going to lift this strand onto the front of my left needle, so it now makes a new loop. If I just knitted this now, I would get a hole. We don't want a hole for the increase, we want a nice neat new stitch. So I'm going to knit through the back of the loop to twist the stitch and close it. That's my increase stitch. I'm now going to knit to the last 2 stitches in the row. So I've got 2 stitches left. I've just worked this stitch, and I'm going to place my increase in the space between these 2 stitches by again picking up the strand between the 2 from the row below, knitting into the back of the strand to twist it, and then continue to the end of the row. If I now purl the next row, because I'm working in stocking stitch, the benefit of this particular increase is that it doesn't show up, more to the point, it doesn't show up on the knit side. It just looks as though the knitting has increased without having a particularly marked look on the surface of the knitting. So it makes a very neat way of increasing. So I just demonstrate again. We're going to knit the first 2 stitches, and the reason I do that is so that if this is a piece of knitting that's going to be sewn, for example a sleeve, you've got a nice neat line of stitches between which you can sew without having to worry about the increase stitch. So again, we're looking for the ladder between the 2 stitches, lift the ladder and then knit into the back of the loop, work to the last 2 stitches in the row, so I've got to the last 2 stitches of my row. Again, I want to lift the ladder. You can use your left needle just to duck under, or as I've been doing, I'm using my right needle to lift it onto my left needle. It doesn't matter which way round you do it, but we have got the loop going over the left needle from front to back, and then knit through the back of the loop to twist it shut. There are slight variations on how to work this particular increase. You can work a left and right leaning make one increase, but for this demonstration I'm just demonstrating the basic technique of a make one increase, which can be used in lots of different places within knitting. The make one increase.